Have you ever felt like you're just stuck, like you're spinning your wheels, learning and learning, but never actually doing anything with it? Well, if that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. We're going to break down exactly why that happens and, more importantly, how to get out of that rut. So I'm going to start with a pretty bold statement, one that might even feel a little wrong, especially if you love to learn. And it's this. You probably don't need another course. You don't need to buy another book or watch one more tutorial. What you really truly need is just more action. That's it. That's the secret sauce. It's the thing that takes all that information in your head and turns it into something real, you know? It's the difference between knowing the theory of swimming and actually jumping in the pool. It really all boils down to two kinds of mindsets. First, you've got the dreamer. This is the person who gets so caught up learning everything that they end up totally paralyzed by all the information. And then you've got the builder. The builder gets that starting is the most important part, even if they don't have it all figured out. And honestly, that one difference is everything. It's what separates a cool idea from something that actually changes the world. So, what's the builder's secret? Why do they just jump in? It's not because they're smarter or have all the answers. No way. It's because they understand a fundamental truth. Confidence doesn't come before the action, it comes from the action. You don't wait to feel confident to start, you start, and that's what builds the confidence. So let's talk about this knowledge trap. Oh, it's a sneaky one. It's that feeling that you just need to learn one more thing before you're ready. But somehow ready just never seems to show up, does it? And that leads to this question. I want you to really ask yourself this, seriously. That project you're thinking about, that business idea, that thing you want to do, what are you actually waiting for? What's the real reason you haven't started yet? And if you're really honest with yourself, the answer probably isn't, I don't know enough. Because let's be real, you probably know enough to at least get started. No, the real barrier, the thing that keeps us stuck in that learning loop, it's usually just fear. Fear of failing, fear of looking stupid, fear of the unknown. But here is the good news, the really good news. You can totally break out of that cycle. You can flip the script and create this awesome positive feedback loop where taking action builds your confidence, and that confidence makes you want to take even more action. Just look at how successful entrepreneurs think. Take the founders of Airbnb. Their big idea was renting out an air mattress on their floor. They didn't have some 50-page business plan. They didn't sweat every tiny detail. They just knew they had a decent idea, that problems would pop up, and that they already knew enough to just begin. Okay, so you ready to get out of the trap? Good. Let's get practical. Here is your 4-step escape plan. This is the framework you can use to finally break free from that cycle of analysis paralysis. And here it is, super simple. First, we're going to ask, why wait to get to the real issue? Second, we'll define a laughably small first step. Third, we have to learn to embrace failure. And fourth, we're going to celebrate the process. Okay, let's dive into each one. All right, step 1 is all about getting honest. When you ask yourself, what am I really waiting for? You have to push past those easy excuses like, oh, I'm just not ready yet. When you dig deeper, you get to the real reason, which for almost all of us is fear. And just naming it, just saying, I'm scared, that's half the battle right there. Step 2 is my favorite. It's all about momentum. Forget about the huge, scary goal. Just focus on the first step. And make it so small that it feels ridiculous not to do it. I'm talking microscopic. Not write the first chapter, but write 1 sentence. Not build the website, but buy the domain name. It removes all the pressure. Now, step 3 is a huge mental shift. You have to start seeing mistakes differently. They're not failures. They're not a sign you should quit. They're just data. Every single mess up is just feedback. It's information telling you what to try differently next time. It's not failure, it's literally just part of the process of getting better. And finally, step 4, you have to actually acknowledge the work you're doing. Once a week, just take 5 minutes and look back. Not at how far you still have to go, but at how far you've come. Celebrating those small wins is what keeps the engine running. It's how you build real, lasting motivation. And that really brings us to the main point of all this. Real, solid, unshakable confidence, you're not going to find it in a book. You're not going to find it in a course. It's forged in the messy, sometimes clumsy, but amazing process of actually doing the thing. At the end of the day, it's this simple. Your knowledge. It's important, for sure, it's your foundation, but it's only the starting line. If you want to truly build confidence and make real progress, there are only two things you need to do. Get started and then just keep going. So, I want to leave you with this question to think about. Go back in your mind to a time you took a leap. Could be big, could be small, something that scared you a little, but you did it anyway, and you were proud of yourself. Can you remember that feeling? That is the feeling of action. That's the confidence you earned. So the only real question left is, what's next?